Hey, what's going on, everybody? And welcome back to the channel today for another review. Nadia and I are here to talk about the MCU's latest project, and that's The Marvels, which will be coming to theaters November 10th. We both had a chance to check this out early. We have our social reactions available on all social medias. We even have a quick out of the theater reaction available on the channel for you as well. But this is our non-spoiler review to tell you our thoughts about this film. So I'm going to keep it 100 with you all. When Marvel made the announcements, and I don't remember, was it D23 or was it San Diego Comic-Con in terms of their slate of films coming down the line, I was most excited for this one. And that truly was because I think Brie Larson is a fantastic actor. Lessons in Chemistry right now, Apple TV Plus, is just truly a testament to that. And I just really did not like Captain Marvel. I thought that she got that job from her performance in the movie Room. And as good as that movie was, you gave her a script and you just made her just flat. So I was very, very excited to see her really work with Nia DaCosta, who I'm saying, like, she's going to bring the best out of her. And then for every bit of bad flack that Brie been getting, and even Brie kind of, showing a lack of interest for the MCU projects as well, too. She doesn't seem like she's having too much fun. I think this could be a change in the trajectory for all things with her and the character Captain Marvel. So, with even having excitement for this, yet low expectations because of everything that's kind of coming out with the MCU, I had fun with this film. I laughed a very lot. Our trio leads, which we'll talk about all in particular in a second, they worked very well together. Samuel Jackson, I mean, you know what he's going to bring. And truly, all of the magic from the Disney Plus series, Miss Marvel, they took that and ran with it. And so if you enjoyed that series, which I still think is the best Disney Plus Marvel MCU series,
Facts.
this one definitely doubled down on it. So I need season 2 of that to be announced ASAP. But nonetheless, I did have fun with this film. I think if you go in there with expectations very normal, not looking for Endgame, not looking for the next big game changer film, which the mid-credit scene might got a little bit to say about that, you can just enjoy this film, kick it back. I think it's family friendly across the board. There's heart, there's good family in it, and there's a lot of cats. Goose in the crew. So there's really a lot that this film did well, and I can't be that guy to try to find something really negative to say when I just had a fun time the entire watch of this. So I'm looking forward to seeing this again. And whether it's watching it on Disney Plus or going to the theaters, either way, I will have my eyes glued for upcoming release potentials with this. I had fun with the Marvels. Nadia, what about you? You got to see it at the New York premiere. Talk me through sort of your expectations going into this and overall your reactions coming out of it.
So I completely agree. I was not a fan of Captain Marvel. The Miss Marvel show, I do agree that with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, those were my two favorite Disney Plus series, and I fell in love with Imani. I think she absolutely killed it, and she made us really, really care about her character. And I think she brings that in this movie as well. Like the three of them have great chemistry together, and
Yeah.
all three of them have like a moment to shine. There was no really like no one felt like a jobber or like a background character. All three of them really got to shine, and I think they did a really good job. I was really surprised because there's been a lot of negative talk surrounding this movie for months, and like going in, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just try to go in with no expectations, and it surprised me. I enjoyed it a lot more than I expected to.
Yeah. Yeah. If you go into this not expecting to not like this film, then you probably will leave with the same feeling, because I don't think this film is looking to try to change anybody's mind. I think this film is very self-aware. I think it had its goal going into it, and I think it executed flawlessly coming out of it. It doesn't take itself serious. As you mentioned, all of our actors really work very well together. Brie, Amon, Tiana. I thought they worked very good together. Then you get Samuel L. Jackson, which is just like the extra treat after that 3-course meal there. So And then again, from every bit of flack that Brie was getting from her first portrayal of Captain Marvel, as Carol Danvers in Captain Marvel, she really shows truly the fantastic actor she is. And then when you take a look at the characters, the three characters also work very well together. The dynamic between the three of them, Miss Marvel being a super fangirl over Captain Marvel, Captain Monica Rambeau, shall I say, and Auntie Carol Danvers, they discussed about so that the animosity Monica has towards Carol by her never returning back to her as she promised this little girl at the end of Captain Marvel. So, they build the stakes of their relationship so you can invest into it. Like truly Miss Marvel fangirling over Captain Marvel, I was down for that ride the entire film. It was just it's a lot of who we are when we see our
Genuine,
favorite.
yeah.
Yeah, it's super genuine. It's like if we've seen our favorite actors, we've seen our favorite celebrity, or just somebody that just we're a fan of on any degree. You sort of see yourself in the same shoes that she was in it. So I enjoyed that. Then again, like Nick Fury, Samuel Jackson, he's going to get his chops. He got all of his chops in it. He makes a lot of scenes so much more better just because of it. And as I mentioned, oh, Goose. How can you be mad at all of the cat presence in the film? It's just so adorable, but yet sinister. And honestly, if I was going to pick a way to die, I really want to go to the cat hell that they showed in this. So you'll see what I'm talking about when you check it out. But
I hate cats,
overall,
so
you're just like no. But it's super cool. So talking about the plot here, and I'm gonna throw it to you. Basically, we have a couple of things kind of going on here. We had a civil war between the Kree and the Skrull. Um, Captain Marvel had a stake in this. She's actually the cause of it. And with that, the Kree call her or label her as the annihilator. And you know, to kind of tie this into all the MCU stuff, when Carol was off Earth doing things, as she has mentioned before, like she has other people to protect.
busy.
Yeah, she's busy. She was a very vital part of this civil war. She thought by removing their AI, this would kind of make things better for the Kree, but in fact, it invoked the civil war, and their planet in Hala ends up losing valuable resources. The planet's quite depleted, and it's almost unsustainable for living. And that brings our villain comes in and says, first of all, I'm gonna make the Annihilator pay and anybody who's ever attached to her, and I'm gonna go out there and retrieve the resources to restore our planet, and that includes water, air, and even the sun. So I will say that Zawi Ashton, who plays Darbing, I wasn't really buying into this character. I felt like the stakes were trying to be established much bigger than they ever portrayed. She has one of the bangles, which is the other one of Miss Marvel, so that's kind of the connection there. But like the character, the villain payoff felt very Marvelish at Prime Marvel, where like the villains were almost irrelevant. It was so much more about the heroes, less about the villains. And this was just another case of that. Like, yeah, granted, we had great villains down the line. I would say Vulture, Killmonger, Thanos, of course, and even you may even say Kang. But this feels like very old school villain, where it's just like, oh, it's a villain. Oh, we care. Do we care? That wasn't really a threat. On to the next here. So I wasn't really buying that aspect of it. But I will say, even while not buying into it, it didn't take away from the fun I had in the film. So with that, that's the synopsis. That's the stake in the plot of the film. For you, what did you sort of think about the villain? What did you think about the plot? Were some things you liked about the plot? Were some things you didn't like about the plot?
So I guess back to like the three of them, they were like a powerful trio. But at the same time, like the villain, I think I completely agree. She was the weak point. She kind of felt very safe. Like, and I've said this before, like I feel like Marvel has like a villain problem, and the heroes kind of like outshined a little too much to the point where it's like you said, like the villain's kind of pointless.
Yeah.
I think she kind of felt like a sidekick more than like an actual main antagonists. And then the world building, I think the special effects were a little better than what we've seen from Marvel lately, like much better. But my big problem is relying too much on special effects where none of the worlds felt real. So the world building wasn't done very well. So also the stakes didn't feel as high. So if her home planet, if we actually spent a little more time there and we saw them like, struggling and being like, we have no sunlight, so our crops can't grow, like, they never really explored that, so I think that's my main problem with the film. It's too much CGI and nothing really felt like a major, "Oh my god," like, their entire planet's about to, like, die.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. That's a great point. And yeah, we spent no time on Holla. We got probably 1 minute of seeing their sort of society, and shall I say, the lack of struggle. We see them kind of like struggling for air, but it really wasn't a struggle because yeah, you'll just
Yeah, they
see.
wore a
But yeah,
COVID mask. Like, what was
yeah,
that?
there wasn't a good depiction of the struggle there. So it's really hard to relate, to really understand and value the villain's sort of motivation behind things. So there's that. But yeah, again, yeah, I was unimpressed by the villain, so I definitely agree with you. I thought some of the visuals did look good pretty early in the film. As a big space nerd, I thought they did hit some of the space
Mhm.
aerials very good, very early in the film. But other than that, I think like the CGI never gets overly impressive. I did not think the CGI looked bad, but it never really like tipped the needle for me. It's kind of like, all right, I expect this, it's very normalized to me on that. Again, Nick Fury absolutely was a delight in this. The script for Brie much better. And then if you love, again, as I mentioned, if you love Miss Marvel on Disney Plus, the family really,
Yes.
really added so much to this film. I can't stress enough the relationship between Kamala and her mother, but ultimately with her entire family. It has such a warm spot in my heart. I thought the portrayal within this culture was done very authentically, and whether you want to take my word or not, I've also reviewed this with somebody of the same descent that also said that it's a true depiction of this culture. So I just really appreciate seeing that to the to this authenticity, and thus they just doubled down on it. So like I really, really, really enjoy the character Miss Marvel, and I'm like beyond excited to hear an announcement for a season 2. Um, we have to talk about the stuff people really care about. Obviously, there's no spoilers here, but there is a there's a mid-credit scene. It's big. We'll talk about like hint at that. We'll give some winks and whatnot. But there's also like a end of the film scene that easily could be a mid-credit scene, but they just put it at the end of the film. So this film definitely is ready to establish two very distinct different paths beyond this for the MCU. There's one that the internet has already got a grasp of with certain, I don't know, signals and certain signage and how else do I put this? The letter before Y. There's that. And then there's something that I think if you just look at the slate of Disney Plus shows and the characters that they're introducing, that there's obviously another team that they are ready to deploy and are ready to run with that. And I will just mention that Kamala being the catalyst to this really excites me on a lot of different levels. So you definitely can see a lot of the future goals of the MCU from this. So I throw this to you after what we are seeing being hinted with the end credit scene and the end of the film scene and the mid credit scene. What's sort of your excitement, your expectations, even predictions, without spoiling anything, about the future of the MCU after watching this film?
So, first, I'm gonna say going into watching this, the necessary watching is Miss Marvel, WandaVision. You don't need to watch Secret Invasion ever.
You and also too, you also don't have to watch Captain Marvel. They recap that in the first 5 minutes of the film, and you just get
Yeah,
everything that happened. You do not
actually,
have
yeah,
to pick that film up, which is
that's true.
just To me, that was the cosign of saying, please don't watch
Yeah,
that.
save yourself a little time. But yeah, I feel like mainly Miss Marvel and WandaVision are kind of essential for this.
Yeah.
Going further, especially with all the crazy rumors and nonsense of people like hating the MCU, and people saying like the real Avengers are coming back now, and people are saying everyone is dead, and then people are saying like Marvel is dead, and it's just there's just so much, fans are the worst. So seeing what they're gonna do going further, I don't really know if Amon's ready for that responsibility, but I
The
do really
the
enjoy
character or the actor?
the the character,
Okay,
Kamala.
yeah. Come on.
Yeah,
Okay,
the
yeah.
character. I really don't think that the character's ready for this responsibility at all, but that's more of like a, I guess, how Marvel kind of wants to continue things. Like, I'm trying to do this to the best of my abilities without spoiling, but like continuity wise, because for so long, for like 10 years, Marvel has been like a shell, like everything was like a puzzle piece making sense. And now it's like everything is a mess. So I'm
Yeah.
just curious going further if they're gonna restructure a whole new puzzle, or kind of like take little pieces and like keep separate worlds. Like say like Marvel Netflix, everyone already knows I'm obsessed with it, but like maybe keep like the down to earth heroes, like now they're gonna do with Echo. So kind of try to find ways to not make everything completely like
Yep.
together, because
Yep.
it might bite them in the foot again.
Yep. Yep. I've been hearing people talk about that, and I think by the comments, there's definitely a couple of ways that can go about the end of the film scene. So I'm definitely excited for that, and I also think that that's also a testament and a reward to a mom for the work that she's doing within Marvel. Really looking to position her for a bright future within the MCU, which obviously means Miss Marvel should have a pretty bright, significant future as well. But then the end credit scene is everything everybody's been talking about on the internet. If you look dig and deep, dig enough, then you should already know what it is. But again, the letter before Y, I think we got an answer, folks. I think we got an answer how we're going to get those group of fine gentlemen and women all intertwined into things.
Well,
So
they
you
better
can,
explain where they've been for the last like 20 years.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, explain that, folks. I think they do give us an answer for that, so you should be excited for it. It's super exciting. There's maybe some questions about how they handled that CGI wise, but it still should be exciting. And I'm also going to say that Lashana Lynch is clearly having the best time of all people casted in MCU projects. I'm just going to leave that at that. And lastly, my last comments is suit designs across the board. Costume designs in this film was fantastic. I love all of the upgrades. I love the color contrast. I
I love
thought they did very,
Monica's.
yeah, did a very good job with that. I enjoyed the team up scenes. There were some good fight moments and choreography with that.
Yep.
And then there was a random ass musical in the middle of the film, which I do not like musicals. So I
I
was
do.
definitely kind of thrown off guard, but luckily it was comedic, so I wasn't able. I didn't have to hate myself for it.
And he's
So
like a big Korean actor too.
that's true. That's true. So yeah, you check the IMDb credits, you'll see there. So, but my last comment is the Marvels is a watch for me. I enjoyed this, a lot of fun. I definitely think you all should check it out. Without hesitation, go in there, make your own opinions, in terms of the negativity that's out there. I think if you come in there with very rational expectations, I think without a doubt, you walk out having a fantastic time with a bunch of laugh and probably want more from these characters down the line. So, Nadia, final remarks from you.
I feel like it might be a little more targeted to like a younger audience. So kind of what we were mentioning, like it's not for everyone. So if you're already going in like it's a female agenda, like then this isn't the movie for you. Like they actually never once were like girl power. And I appreciate that they were just the leads of the movie. There was no like it's girl power, girl team, like there was none of that. So I don't want to hear this agenda crap. Like it was a fun movie.
I totally agree. Well, folks, do your job. Go see it in theaters November 10th. You all can get in the comments. Let us know your thoughts about it. And stick around because you already know here at Big Abode Media, we got tons of review content and all that other good stuff coming to you very soon. Thank y'all so much for checking out this. We'll see y'all back very soon.
I keep